Hello, and today we have come to Tunbridge Wells, or to be more precise, Royal Tunbridge Wells, to give it its full title, home of the creator of Subbuteo, table football, if you want a completely random fact. And today we are going to review Wetherspoons. I know that Wetherspoons have kind of got connotations attached to them, a little bit of a stigma of being perhaps not the nicest places, especially on a Friday or Saturday night. I would not want to be at a Wetherspoons on a Friday or Saturday night. Thankfully, we are here on a Thursday just after lunchtime, so hopefully it's not going to be rowdy. I'm not going to get into any bar fights unless their food's no good, in which case, punchy. Right, let's just cross over and go and see what food we can find and if it's any good. So we have come in, we have sat down, and I have to say this is one of the most beautiful Wetherspoons I think I have ever been in. I know Wetherspoons do tend to have a lot of their pubs in old, interesting buildings, but this one is exceptional. It is an old playhouse, I believe. Wayne actually gave me a full history of what it used to be last night, but I wasn't paying a huge amount of attention to him, so I've sort of forgotten what he said, but I think it's an old playhouse. And just looking around, the decor is really stunning. It's kind of layers of seating up above us. The ceiling is beautiful. I'm really liking the location. Very, very beautiful. It's not too busy in here today either. We have got the menus, and the menu is extensive. There is an awful lot of stuff to choose from on the menu today. It's going to take me a while to make up my mind, so I'm going to need to have a little bit of a look through. The vibe so far in here today is actually really nice as well. It is not noisy, it doesn't feel too busy, but it's got a nice atmosphere. So I'm going to work out what I want to eat, put an order through, and come back when I've made my mind up. So we have perused the menu now, and the menu can only be likened to the menu version of War and Peace. It is very extensive. I have chosen to go with a chicken tikka masala with a naan bread and poppadoms and basmati rice, and Wayne has chosen to go with the steak and kidney pudding. One thing I will note is I did have a very brief look at the menu last night, and the prices are marginally higher here on the physical menus than they were online yesterday. Perfect, thank you. Oh, the food has turned up much quicker than expected. Sorry for that little interruption there. Yeah, the prices were marginally higher on the physical menu than they were online. 30p, so it's not the end of the world, but there was a very slight price difference there. Our food has turned up, so what else can I say? We may as well dig in. So my first impression is that this looks really nice. I'm happy with the portion size, looks like a good portion. I am happy with the presentation. Let's go in first with a bit of poppadom. Is it going to crunch? It certainly crunched right onto my lap. Let's test it on its own first. And then with a bit of sauce. That is a good poppadom. It's got a nice crunch to it. Tastes nice and fresh. Let's go in with the naan. Straight in with the sauce there, I think, with the naan. And a bit with no sauce. And that is quite a nice naan as well. It's a garlic naan, so it's got kind of a garlic butter, I would say, across it. It tastes lightly of garlic. pulling it apart for you there. It is nice and soft. And I'm definitely liking the flavour there. Let's go in for a little bit of rice. Looking at the rice, it is basmati. How's it going to taste? Doesn't necessarily look the most appetising, but let's give it a go. It's okay. I think it could do with a touch more seasoning, perhaps just a touch more salt in there. It is not bland, but it is veering towards the bland side of things. But I suppose when it's mixed in with the curry sauce, it's going to work nicely. Now, the main event, the curry, we have left till last. How much chicken is in here? Because this could be deceptive. Served in this nice little bowl. I'm not a fan of things served in bowls. I much prefer my curry just splattered on a plate. Looks like there's a fair amount of chicken in there though. Let's cut a piece in half. Now, as much as we can see, how is it going to taste? Is it going to be moist? Is it going to be juicy or is it going to be dry? Let's find out. Super tender. Super tender, not dry, nice and moist. The sauce, I need to try some sauce on its own again to assess the sauce. I'm going to scoop the sauce with my naan spoon. And I think that is a good tikka masala sauce. It's got a nice depth to it. It is nice and buttery. You can taste the spices. There is a small amount of heat. Obviously, a chicken tikka masala is never the most spicy curry, but it does have heat. It does have a slight kick to it. I am very happy with this. And I've been to more expensive restaurants and had tikka masalas that haven't actually tasted as nice as this sauce does. Let's try and get some chicken, some rice and some sauce all together. Do you know what? I don't know if I'm meant to do this, but I'm going to do it because this bowl is going to annoy the heck out of me. It may look pretty, but it is not productive to my eating. There we go. Let's take a little bit of rice, a little bit of curry. Nice big amount of sauce. I'm very happy with that. Every element on that plate is to my taste. The rice goes well with the curry sauce. Obviously, when it's with the curry, it's not bland. The naan was good. The poppadoms were good. I think that's a good plate of food, and I am going to enjoy eating this for absolute certain. Let's test Wayne's now. So looking at Wayne's food, I have to say, first impressions, I'm glad I ordered the curry. This doesn't look bad by any means, but I think mine looked a lot more attractive. Suet crust steak and kidney pudding. Looks like it has been made in a ramekin, presumably because of the crust down here. Is it bought in or made in-house? Most probably bought in, but I can't say that for certain. Let's bust open the pudding. First thoughts, when you think of what I got with my curry, there doesn't seem to be a huge amount of filling in there. Steak and kidney, but there are only a few small bits of meat. Not blowing my mind. Let's try it and see if the taste, however, makes up for that. I'm going to take the tiniest amount of steak, because this is not my food, the tiniest amount of kidney, and some of that suet pastry. It's definitely hot on the inside. You could not say that that food was not served hot. That is hot. It's actually got a very nice flavour. There's kind of a pepperiness coming through. The gravy is nice and thick. The meat is tender. And the kidney is tasty. So the taste is there. Unfortunately, the portion size isn't necessarily up to scratch for me. Let's try some pastry on its own to assess. And again, the pastry is very good. It's got a sweet butteriness to it. Crumbles nicely in my mouth. It is not hard or tough. It does flake nicely, crumbles nicely. All in all, lovely. Chips. Just go in with a chip, shall we? Not the best chips. Tastes like they have possibly been sitting around for a little while. I guess if they're doing lots of food, they probably have a lot of chips already cooked. These taste like they have possibly been sat around for a while. I don't think they have been fresh cooked for Wayne's meal today. They're not crispy. They're a little bit disappointing. The first thing in both meals that I've been a little disappointed with, but they are only chips. Little jug of gravy here. Which we are going to pour over Wayne's pudding. I'll leave him some in his jug so that he can put it where he actually wants it. And I'm going to go in for one more little bite. Now immediately, that gravy is very, very nice. Immediately I was hit by the red wine taste, and it is a red wine gravy. There is red wine, and that is really coming through. It's nice and rich, nice and thick, perfectly seasoned, I would say. I like that gravy very, very much. I'm not going to try the peas, sorry, I don't like peas. But of the two meals so far, I prefer mine because it's a bigger portion. But Wayne's steak and kidney pudding is fantastic. And yeah, I could definitely eat that, but I'm not going to. It's not mine. I've eaten too much of it already. Let's pass it back to Wayne. I'm going to dig in and eat the rest of mine now. And then let you know what I think. So we finished off our meals now. Whilst I was eating, I just glanced over the receipt and I noticed the price of my curry. £8.79. A little bit surprised, because on the menu it was actually advertised as being £10.14, and that's when I turned to the front of the menu and stumbled across Curry Club, which just happens to run every Thursday. And the first rule of Curry Club is, of course, we talk about Curry Club because it's really good value. £8.21 for all of that curry and the drink. On the receipt it says £8.79. I think there was a slight surcharge for the garlic naan, but although I can't quite work out the pricing, all I know is £8.79 for that curry and that drink, to me, is really good value. Wayne's steak and kidney pudding and his drink came to £7.57. That to me is really good value. I enjoyed all of my food. Should you come here and expect Michelin star quality? No, because you will be disappointed. But you can come here looking forward to food that is going to fill you up. It is decent, it is cooked nicely, and it's going to do the job. And for those kind of prices, I don't think you can complain. We're not going to opt for a pudding today purely because, well, I'm totally full, and Wayne, I think, is pretty full as well. But if you were in the mood for a pudding, there is plenty to choose from. Chocolate and salted caramel torts, sticky toffee puddings, millionaire shortbreads, cookie dough sandwiches. There is a lot of puddings to choose from, and they range in price from £1.97 for the cheapest one up to £5.48. So again, those puddings are good value too. Overall today, the total bill came to £16.88, so £8.44 if you average it per head. And that, as I said, includes the drinks. Yeah, you really can't complain about that. When you see the food you've got, I couldn't cook that at home for less. And to be honest, chicken tikka masala from Marks and Spencer's, I believe their Marks and Spencer's finest tikka masala is about £6.50. So that's without poppadoms and naans, so cheaper than buying a ready meal in Marks and Spencer's. That to me makes it worth it. The venue is beautiful. The service has been good. It was a little bit slow at the bar, but other than that, it has been good service. It's a nice environment. The food is really nice. And based on that, I'm actually going to rate it an 8. I wasn't expecting to rate it so highly. Perhaps I came in with slightly preconceived ideas of what it was going to be like, but absolutely I would come here again. I'm going to leave here feeling full, feeling happy, and having had a really nice lunch. So until next time, have a wonderful day, and we will see you another table, another time.